What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're doing Rings of Power recap, Season 2, Episode 7. This is on Amazon, still has audio description, and this is sort of a big battle episode. So I liked it. It was cool. I remember the big battle episode from last season, and to me, the one where they kind of like threw everything in there, I thought was my favorite episode of Season 1. This is probably my favorite episode of Season 2. Although I have questions, and it's sort of like, I'm holding reservations for Season 8 because there's something that they don't resolve in this episode that I need resolved in Episode 8 in order to know whether or not I liked Episode 7. So, spoilers ahead, by the way. Also, for my blind audience, I do have a purple hat on backwards. I never know what I can see. Like, my camera does tell me that my face is centered, but I don't always know that it is, or what it considers to be centered. So maybe you can't see that I'm wearing a hat or even a shirt. Maybe it's like zoomed in on my nose. I don't know. But the world of being a blind film critic is just and not having anybody producing your content. Power Ranger shirt is what I'm wearing. So, I don't have a Lord of the Rings shirt. I wouldn't have one that was just Rings of Power. So that's never going to happen. So it would need to be something that was like iconically just Lord of the Rings if I was going to own one. So this is basically picks up where we left off. Adar's off to lay siege to the elf town that Celebrimbor is lord of, and he's down there. Sauron. I'm not going to use the other name. We all know it's Sauron. I don't even understand this concept. Like he's using another name, but it's like everybody knows he's Sauron at this point. Has Celebrimbor just down there. It's like finish the rings, and Celebrimbor has like lost his mind, and he basically Sauron has controlled the minds of everybody else in the community, and they kind of put him away, and he sees this mouse and realizes the mouse just keeps coming and doing the same thing. He knows like repetitive cycles basically and so he thinks he's in a time loop, which he is, because Sauron is controlling everything. A lot of this made me wonder, it's like, if you're this powerful, the hell do you need rings for? Like, the show doesn't even really fully explore the limits of his power, like what he can't do. I would say that's probably one of my problems with the show in general, is that if you're going to start exploring what Sauron can do already without the rings, then I need to know what his limit is. Like, what can't he do? Because he does a lot of stuff here. He's literally got a whole town bamboozled. Can he just not? Is it just that he can't bamboozle the world with the whole entire world at the same time? Is that his lack? And he's like, well, I wish I could put everybody under the same spell, but unfortunately, my range is up to a mile or something, like I can only do it within but he doesn't really say that. Like, we don't know what the limits of his powers and his abilities are, but he directly just controls people and has them do what he wants, like mind control. And he's clearly got this weird time loop thing happening for Celebrimbor, but he wants them to finish and give him the rings. And meanwhile, the elves are fighting. Elrond goes to visit Durin and asks Durin for his help. Durin, of course, is going through his own shit because he was in the middle of trying to overthrow his father so that he could save his kingdom, because his father's wearing a ring and it has been corrupted. So it's not really a great time for Durin. And he just finally got his troops rallied to him after his wife sent them sent the bats after them in the last episode, which was super cool. By the way, this episode really only focuses on just this one thing. So there are entire characters and stuff we don't stray away from. It's all about the fight against Sauron. So the Stranger and Nori and those, nope, not here. But that giant troll comes back and fights in battle. So that happens. So anybody who was like, whatever happened to, oh, he's there. He's here. And they keep hinting that that there are some orcs that aren't quite liking what Adar's doing, but I kind of got what he said, where he's like, this is kind of like a winner-take-all fight. Like, because they're like, well, I thought you loved us and you care about our lives. And he's like, I do, but I love you too much to let you be enslaved by Sauron. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he, as somebody who was alive, we saw that in the flashback, he was alive back when Sauron was trying to do this the first time. He was the one that shoved the crown in upside down. So he knows what this is like. He knows what that used to be like for, and maybe a lot of these orcs weren't there, don't remember, that kind of thing. So the weight, heavy is the crown, I suppose is the quote here. But yeah, he is absolutely willing to, he's like, if we all die in battle, at least we die in battle, but we're not slaves, you know, we don't become Sauron slaves. So that's why he's taking this approach of, I know it sucks and a lot of us are dying in battle, but if I die in battle, if you die in battle, that's a way better way to go. But we have to get Sauron. We have to get these rings. We have to stop him from doing his thing. So it's weird that Adar is becoming as relatable of a character as possible, because I'm starting to find him really compelling as a character. And I'm like, maybe that's the best thing about the Rings of Power, is that they've actually done something with the orcs, instead of just been like, the orcs are just mindless creatures that just kind of like, I'm an orc. Just kind of what Peter Jackson was like, I don't know, they're orcs, whatever. You know, so Galadriel is in her thing, and Adar tries to have an understanding with Elrond, which basically is like, well, if you don't do what I'm going to say, then I'm going to kill Galadriel, who I have captive over there. And Elrond's like, well, sorry, I'm not going to do it. So let me say goodbye to Galadriel. And luckily he helps Galadriel in a way by slipping her something so that she can get herself out, which she does. And later on, Galadriel runs into Celebrimbor, who basically gives her the rings and says that he'll try to hold off Sauron for as long as possible. But one of the things that we see is, as sort of the elven army is being slaughtered, there's a moment where Elrond, who had a great conversation with Durin about supporting and understanding why they have to stop Sauron, he keeps saying, like, Durin is coming, Durin will come, Durin's coming, you know, and Durin never comes, and there are no dwarves that show up. So why didn't the dwarves show up? Because we never cut to them to show why they didn't show up. Instead, we do get a scene where Durin has rallied them, and they all seem like they're on board. So that's why I'm like, I need to know why they didn't show up. Because I'm just going to say right now, if you kill off Durin, I will fucking quit the show. He is the most interesting character to me in the show. Him and his wife, like, every episode they're in, I'm like, way better. Like, I fucking love the dwarves in this show. So if we cut back and like somebody has killed Durin, I'm just gonna be like, no season 3 for me. That'll be the end of my recaps. Bye. Like, just nope. Like, there was another character who I guess was kind of a main character. I forgot why he was a main character, but he dies. I was like, it didn't even affect me. I literally had forgotten why this character existed. I was like, I don't remember you at all. I don't know why I should care about you. There are too many characters in this show as it is, and I'm not invested in this character at all. There's an elf character that died, I don't even remember his name. He's been in some episodes. I'm sure he's important. I'm sure some people, like hardcore Lord of the Rings fans, are gonna be like, but that was so and so, and oh my god, this is huge for the series. I have no idea. You know, I don't care. I do care about Durin. I think I don't know. There's something about the dwarf culture here that I love the angry Scottish. I don't know. It's just the whole thing. I would watch them as a series. If they just spun the dwarves off, I would watch that as a series. The Dwarves of the Rings. Yeah. So, they always seem to be like angry, regardless of what it is they're saying. Even when they're saying stuff that's loving, it's always got like this tinge of like, I'm angry about something, but I really love you. You know, I don't know, it's great. So, that's basically the short story of Rings of Power. It's a lot of action sequences, a lot of fighting, and I was engaged the whole time because of it. Only a couple scenes where we kind of stop and talk. A lot of fighting otherwise. The troll sequence could have been more, but it felt like we were building up to this big troll sequence, and then, you know, it wasn't that hard to fight. So yeah. And I love that he uses the trolls against the elves too, by the way. Like, the troll probably could have broken in. It would have been interesting to see, could he send the troll in? Because he keeps trying to, like, get through this wall. And I'm like, why don't you just have the troll smash through the wall? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? His use of troll, Otto's use of troll in this is not necessarily the most engaging, the best use of troll, I should say. So, I think probably my favorite episode of the season so far. Probably the highest grade I will give Rings of Power thus far. Not my favorite show. I don't need it to get Emmy nominations. And again, if episode 8 turns out Durin's dead, that grade's gonna drop real fast. But I'm gonna give Rings of Power season 2 episode 7 an A-. I had a lot of fun this episode, but the fact that Durin didn't come was did concern me. I'm hoping that it's because Durin overthrew his father and is now king of the dwarves and or at least got the ring off his finger. But well, I hope we'll find out. I'm sure the next episode is going to have. It's gonna have to like resolve the Strangers plot for the season. It's gonna have to show us what happened to Durin. Like, that's good. That's two things that have to happen in episode 8 for sure. But we'll find out. Until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.